Hi, everyone. Welcome to Unscaled Travel Show. I'm Jeremy Long, the Full Metal Traveler. Thanks for joining us. It's the best darn travel show in the entire world. Joined, as always, here with my co-host and co-explorer, Amy Long.
Hi.
Hey, we have an exciting show for you. Well, it's exciting, at least for one of us.
Yeah.
I was invited on a wonderful trip to Melbourne, Victoria, Australia. And I'm going to tell you all about it.
Yeah, you heard that right. He went to another country without me.
Hey, man, it happens.
Yeah, sometimes.
Yeah, it happens.
It seems to be happening more and more, though. You're going on these fantastic trips and leaving me at home.
Well, someone has to care for the crops and the youngins.
Oh, funny.
And
You're going to get us canceled.
Yeah. Canceled, a la, she's going to punch me in the side of my head. So this is all about Melbourne and Victoria, Australia. As I said,
But
they have
that's not how they say it. How do they say
Melbourne.
Melbourne?
Very distinct. Not making fun. Just, how people, they just have regionalized accents.
Yeah.
And, and I'm from Southeast Texas, so I am not at all making fun of anyone's accent or the way they talk. It's just, I say Melbourne and they say Melbourne or Melbourne or, something that I can't understand. And that was I found myself asking you going, what? A lot. So sorry to the people that had to host me. Number one, before we get started, thank you to Visit Victoria and Visit Melbourne and the entire team, Cassie and Kara and all of the folks that hosted me. I appreciate it. I really do. I had a lot of fun.
Yeah. So tell me, first impressions of Australia and Melbourne specifically. What was it?
Number one, I didn't realize how big Melbourne is. I don't know why. I just never really thought. Maybe I thought it was just a smaller place. Usually whenever Americans talk about Australia, they're usually talking about, or at least envisioning Sydney.
Right.
So, fairly or unfairly, that's kind of what you think about. And so it surprised me how big it really is, the city itself, like 5 million people.
Oh, wow.
And
yeah.
it's it's vast. It's very widespread, kind of like Phoenix.
Oh, okay.
Although they do have a very good road system and transit system, so you can be places very quickly.
You did mention that they had free public transportation in their downtown area, which is fantastic for visitors along with locals to get around that area. If you're visiting the city and you don't want to rent a car or have to pay for transportation, they provide that for you.
Yeah, super easy to get around. And like you said, downtown area where most visitors or tourists are more than likely to go, that you can get around super, super easy. And once you get, like any other place, once you get your bearings, it's up this way, down this way, left, right, cross.
Basic directions.
Yeah, even though I did get on the wrong trail several times. But you do have to pay attention. So that's not one of my key strengths. But I was mainly there for the food and wine festivals.
Yum.
So the Melbourne Food and Wine Festival is in March, and it's been held since like 1993. It's a very long-standing tradition. It's one of these events that draws hundreds of thousands of people.
Really?
Every single year, I think 350 to 450, 450,000 people come, descend upon the city. So I wasn't at that event, obviously, but I was at the regional event for this. And they kicked up these regional events to kind of shine a spotlight on the different regions around Victoria and, that almost act like a precursor or a primer to the main event that's in March.
Okay.
And so these have been going on for I believe the last couple of years. I might be misquoted there, but at least the last couple of years. And they start in the Yarra Valley. It's, if you look at it, you're like Yarra Valley, but it's like Yarra. And they will punch you if you say it wrong, or at least talk sternly to you. So the Yarra Valley, and it's an event called the World's Longest Lunch.
Okay.
And it's basically tables lined up end to end for a very long time. People sitting there being served a 3-4 course meal. It was a lot of fun. And the food is so good.
Really?
And I think that is like without, kind of getting into it, but that it's, well, I tell you what, I actually got to talk to uh, Anthea Lucas Boscia, and I'm sorry, she's the CEO of Food and Drink Victoria, a little bit about what the event is, why it's going on, and here's what she had to say.
Melbourne Food and Wine Festival, which is a 10-day program which covers 21 events across 3 different regions: Ballarat, the Yarra Valley and Gippsland.
Okay. I guess give me a little bit of history about the event. Why did it get started? Why is it? It's an annual event.
Yeah. The Melbourne Food and Wine Festival is 32 years old.
Wow.
It's the biggest consumer-facing Melbourne Food and Wine Festival in the country. This is a very small part of it. The Metro event, the city event, happens in March, and that has upwards of this year we had 238 events and 65,000 people. So that's a much bigger program. We and the Melbourne Food and Wine Festival was started to celebrate the food and drink of this state and this city, and the regional edition is something that we spun off from the March program because we felt like the regions deserved their own program, and that it was also sort of a bit of a cleaner communication to have people visiting the city for the festival in March and then heading out to the regions in November, a different time of year.
Well, specifically about this region, because it's the one we're concentrating on here. Tell me a little bit about the region, what might set it apart maybe from the other regions around it.
Yeah, sure. Well, the Yarra Valley is one of, it's an incredible wine growing region. It is very close to the city. And it has, also not only amazing celladors, and has amazing wineries and wine producers, but also some incredible food producers as well. But I think what sets it apart is the fact that it is so close to the city, you can be here in, 40 minutes. And some of the best wines that we produce in the state, the Yarra Valley, some great Pinot Noir, great sparkling, and great Chardonnay.
So, really it was, kind of just like I said, they just spin it off, and it's a great way to kind of dial in to specific regions around Melbourne before the actual bigger event. And it's a ton of fun.
Right. I didn't realize that food and wine was such a big thing in Melbourne, but you were telling me they have like the highest per capita of restaurants to people in like the entire world.
Yeah, something crazy, like 3,500 dining venues that represent more than 70 countries around the world. And that's something else that you don't really think about a whole lot, but that is a wonderful surprise because on every corner was something different. I mean, my first day there, I had Texas barbecue in a restaurant, and right next door was, Thai, and right next door that was sushi and, indigenous foods that, it was just amazing. I went in there with zero expectations because honestly, I didn't know what to expect. I know that's kind of like, duh, but I was blown away by, number one, the food offerings and drink offerings are amazing. The hospitality is next level. Everyone just seems so happy and nice there. It's not like walking in downtown Las Vegas and people are just, frowning at you all the time. But here, there, it's just, people are just glad you're there.
I never would have thought of Melbourne as a foodie destination, but it sounds like it absolutely is. If you like food, even various types of foods, this would be a great place to go. So I'm even more jealous now that I didn't get to go with you.
Well, we have lots of, you're going to want to get out a pen and a paper. You're going to want to write down all of these suggestions we have, right? Oh, I have. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Slip of the tongue here. It's the Unskilled Travel Show. We're going to be back in just a minute.
Unskilled Travel Show is brought to you by Diamondback Land Surveying. For all your land surveying needs, contact Diamondback Land Surveying at 823-DBLS.
Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Unscaled Travel Show. I'm Jeremy Long, the Full Metal Traveler. Remember, check us out online, fullmetaltraveler.com, for all of our past interviews and episodes and our bloggies. We do bloggies here and there. Every once in a while, you'll see stuff pop up there. We were talking about the Melbourne Food and Wine Festival. It's ancillary events, especially the ones in the Yarra Valley that I got to attend, and where the event is held. This is what I wanted to. I wanted to make sure people knew about St. Hubert's Estate. It's a beautiful, just amazing, like looking property. They also have an art gallery on this property, and they hold weekly lunches and everything.
So anyone can just go?
Anyone can go.
Okay.
And eat the food and check out the art gallery. I got to spend a few minutes with the executive director, Andrew Ryan, and just kind of asked him about what he wants people to experience when they do come out to St. Hubert's Estates.
Well, and being casual, so that everyone's welcome. And for us, a lot of people refer to hospitality as a service industry, but it is. But we still think it's about we're in the hospitality business, or industry. So therefore, when someone's here, it's an extension of our home. Even though there's a lot of detail from the landscaping, the architecture, the quality of food, we don't have the egos. Really, it's quite we could be walking around trying to, be someone.
Right.
But to be honest, we just want people to enjoy it and create family memories that they'll remember. Especially, kids when they were young or families, we're all on this escalator of life. So, here as a 46-year-old, and I remember, when I was 30 or even in my 20s, people that gave me time back then, and now 46 and those guys, I've done favours for them now, whereas I'm looking at people that I can help then, because we're always changing. So for us, it's kind of like a family that's here now. In 30 years, they'll look back and go, how special it was for that parents back then that are now grandparents, and for the kids.
Right.
And, so you are creating that memories. And for us, people are here for different reasons, but we want them when they leave, that they're feeling better than when they come.
So thank you so much to Andrew Ryan and his team for allowing me to be there and being at the world's longest lunch.
Yeah.
Being a part of that, and of course to Food and Drink Victoria CEO Anthea Lucas Boscia for speaking with me as well. It was a really fun experience.
Sounds like they were making some really great memories there.
Yeah, trying to. It is an amazing place that I can't speak enough on. But we mentioned that Melbourne has like 3,500 cafes and restaurants, and so many cultures are represented. That we really got around to. I mean, I went to a number of places, and I barely scratched the surface.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's just kind of one of those amazing places.
So you kind of covered a lot of different things, not just restaurants, not just wine. You went to a few other places. You were talking about, I believe, a gin distillery that you went to. So,
and this is where I mentioned I want you listeners to get out your pen and paper, because there's a lot of places that if you go, or if you're going back, if you've been multiple times, there's always new places to find. One of those places right off the bat, you mentioned the gin. One of the best gins in the world by far, Four Pillars. Four Pillars Gin has been awarded time and time again for their gins of various brands and things of that nature. It's celebrated
worldwide,
all around the world. And it's one of those gins that you know about, but like when you get to go there and see their process and see their incredibly sustainable building, it's too many things to kind of mention. It's like their piping goes outside, where normally they would have to use electricity to do a certain thing to like cool off the gin and the process or whatever, like the outside temperatures and wind like cools it by itself. And there's all kinds of, and I'm sure I messed that up, but I mean, it's crazy what they're doing as leaders in that area. Another place would be a restaurant called Hartswood, and that's in Yarra Glen, which is, they have all these little communities that dot the area.
Mm-hmm.
Hartswood was fantastic. They had a great chef's tasting, which is on the menu. It's not something that they say, okay, you know, if you go and get this, no one else can get it or whatever. They were doing it especially for me or anything like that. It was like one of those things saying, you know, it's on the menu saying, you know, if you want this, you know, order it. The chef will take care of you. And that would be Chef Matt Benny.
So the chef's tasting menu, what was on it?
Oh, all kinds of stuff.
All kinds of stuff?
I mean, there's like 6 courses.
Wow.
I can't remember.
Wow.
I can't remember. But all I remember is leaving full and happy and getting to talk to chef and owner Matt Benny was just, you know.
Well, I guess when
Just a
your
really cool
customers
guy.
leave full and happy, you've done a job
You're doing pretty good.
Yeah.
You're doing okay.
Where else did you go?
I did get to go. There's a group called Trader House that has a number of restaurants in Melbourne and a number of places. I went in one evening to several different places, all walking distance within one another in Melbourne. Cumulus Inc. is one of them. A place called Super Normal is another. Super Normal is more like Asian fusion,
Okay.
which is
Yum.
I know I'm gonna get people are gonna be like, oh, he keeps saying the food was fabulous everywhere, but these places really just amazing.
I can tell you, if you didn't like the food, we just wouldn't
I
talk
just
about
wouldn't mention it.
Yeah.
You know, if you don't have anything nice to say,
Don't say anything at all.
right?
That's the philosophy
Or get
we're
on
living
Twitter
by.
and complain about it.
So if we're talking about you on the show, he really liked your food.
Yeah. So Hartswood, there in Yarra Glen, Cumulus, Super Normal, and for a nightcap was this amazing little bar. It's called Apollo Inn. Okay. So Apollo Inn, the bartenders are dressed very neatly. They got, you know, bow ties and suspenders and they look, you know, they look fabulous. It almost reminds you of like an American speakeasy. It's a very small, intimate place, but they don't advertise it as a speakeasy. It's just like a
Okay.
little hole in the wall bar. And you can have, and we know this living here in Vegas, you can have the prettiest bar or the coolest looking thing, but if your bartenders don't know how to make drinks, or if the service is bad in general, you just won't go back.
Right.
And you won't have anything nice to say about it. And we know the difference. We've been to high-end places that suck. And we've been to hole-in-the-wall places that absolutely nail it. You know,
Right.
one of our favorite places in town is the laundromat.
Right. Right.
You know, and it's really comes down to the bartender.
The bartenders, and if they know how to really make a drink.
Yeah, that's
It's
what separates.
more than just throwing some ingredients in a glass.
Every drink, okay, has the same ingredients. You know, if you get an old fashioned, you have the same few ingredients around the world, and then they add their own little touches and everything else. But if the bartender doesn't know how to make it, you're gonna get a terrible
Right.
old
A
fashioned.
good blend of those
Yeah.
4 ingredients.
So I
Yeah.
can't recommend Apollo Inn enough. My guy Jack, who I connected with on Instagram, a great bartender there, did amazing things. Left me happy.
Well, that's, again, job well
Again,
done if your customers walk out
job
happy and a
well
little
done.
bit buzzed when you're coming from a bar.
A little bit buzzy, a little bit happy in the adult beverages. Keep it right here. Unscaled Travel Show. We'll be right back.
Hey travelers, it's Amy with the Full Metal Traveler, and you're listening to the Unscaled Travel Show. For all of our past episodes and guest interviews, you can find us at fullmetaltraveler.com.
Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the Unscaled Travel Show. I'm Jeremy Long, the Full Metal Traveler, talking all things Melbourne Food and Wine Festival. First trip down there, got invited. Really happy to go. So glad I got to experience it for the first time. I have traveled a lot of places, not as many places as some people, but a little bit more than the average person. I've been to a lot of breweries, a lot of gin distilleries, a lot of brew houses, and I have come across some really good ones. I've come across some shady ones and some that I would not recommend to my worst enemy. But every once in a while, you, as a traveler, get to experience and come in contact with a company that you just feel it. Even if you don't get to spend a whole lot of time there, you get to feel how wonderful the atmosphere is, and what the people are like that work there, and the people that brew the beer. And this place in Melbourne, got to go to it at the last minute. They were kind enough to open for me on a day where, normally they don't have a whole lot of people. And I'm talking about Molly Rose Brewing Company. And I got to spend a few minutes chatting with their founder, Nic Sandery. Nic, tell me about the beginning of Molly Rose, where the dream came from, and how it all got started.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, I've been a professional brewer my entire working career. So working for other people, like for any Australian listeners, you'll know Stone and Wood and Little Creatures and Holgate Brewhouse, or 3 great breweries to work for, good family-run businesses, and it kind of inspired me to one day want to have my own business as well. So it got to the point where I was pretty keen on doing it, and I had the ethos, the morals of Molly Rose Brewing before we had the name, and I had them all lined up, the core values, and I just couldn't figure out a name for the business. Then I thought, where do these morals and these values come from? And they came from my family. So Molly and Rose were both my grandmothers, one from either side of the family. They were both very strong women, really proud to use their names on our business. So I guess that's the starter of it. But after we came up with the name, the core values, I decided that, like you say, Australia not known for good beer. I decided to travel the world and kind of investigate beer cultures and traditions. And as a mid-20s-year-old, 4 months traveling the world, drinking beer and eating good food was a lot of fun, but also super informative. So I went to Japan, I went to the States, I went all across Europe and the UK, just to kind of see how other people enjoy good food and good beer and good times. And try and bring back some of that inspiration back to Australia. So got back to Australia and was lucky enough to find out a little spot on Wellington Street where we opened a tiny little kind of 50, 60 seater tap room, all in amongst the tanks. We'd make beer Monday to Wednesday and then spend almost a full day tidying everything up, push everything to the side so we can fit people in on Thursday to Sunday to serve the beers. I mean, 8 months in, we kind of had a bit of a COVID hiccup for the next 2.5 years. But during that time, we were lucky enough to take over the building next door. I think that's where you spent most of your time, Jeremy, wasn't it? In a brand new renovated, I want to say cocktail bar, kitchen, microbrew, beer garden experience. So we're able to put in a full kitchen and start serving some really fantastic food to kind of complement the beer. And that's a cliff notes to where Molly Rose is now.
So I have to ask, I mean, you named the place after your grandmothers. Were they beer drinkers themselves?
Not particularly. They were super hospitable though. They would give you anything they had. Anyone who came to their house would be welcomed in to their house, and just looked after. And they would give you anything they had in their cupboard, anything they had in their fridge. They would serve you, they would look after you, make sure you were happy. And that's kind of the ethos that we have at Molly Rose. We like to welcome people and provide them with an experience better than what they were expecting.
Why was it important to have an ethos in place before you moved forward with your dream?
Yeah, I got some really good advice from the guys who started Stone and Wood. So I was lucky enough to be one of the first employees there. They're from very early time. And for your American listeners, Stone and Wood became the #1 craft beer in Australia. They were recently acquired by the same company that bought New Belgium. So a very big company for a lot of money. They were a huge company making almost 20 million litres of beer a year. So they grew the business and they said, if you come up with your set of core values for your business, something that rings true for what you want to create, every decision down the line, you can, if you're having trouble making that decision, you can refer back to those core values and see if that's actually going to be what drives the business forwards. So if you don't, it's a saying, if you don't stand for something, you'll fall for anything.
Right.
So, I mean, you say a brewery just needs to make good beer and then sell it to the people. I mean, that underneath that, there are values. It's like, make good beer, sell it to people, like good people. So, I mean, there, underneath all of these kind of very basic business plans, there is a set of core values that people will probably be sticking to, or successful businesses probably be sticking to.
So, how do you keep innovating and pushing your business forward and pushing the craft forward while also staying true to what your customers love and what sells and pays the bills?
That's a really good question. I tend to brew beers for season, and I do find myself occasionally brewing beers that I think customers will like in that season.
Mhm.
Fortunately, I like a lot of different types of beers, and I'm tending towards what I'm seeing as the trend in the Australian beer market, which is lower alcohol, more sessionable beers. And so that's what I'm tending to myself as a consumer. So it makes it easy for me want to make beers that are lower alcohol, more sessionable. Doesn't mean less flavor, doesn't mean less nuance, but that's what I'm tending towards. Um, and then every now and then I get upset at kind of consumer trends and other breweries making beers that consumers just love and love and love and love, and we don't make that beer. And I push the other way, and I go and release 4 Belgian beers all in one go. And so that's when my non-business brain is on my head. So I guess we do balance it out, and we've always kind of had the goal of being a brewery that makes interesting beers, but does them with nuance and balance, and so that they're not so pointy and they're not so crazy that anyone could pick them up.
And finally, for first time visitors, they walk into Molly Rose for the very first time. What should they order? And what experience do you hope that they leave with? What memory do you hope that they go home with?
Well, I'll answer the second one first. I hope they leave having had a better experience than they're expecting. And you're setting a pretty high bar. You're talking it up big time. So I still hope they leave having experienced something better than what they expected. What should they have? I think they should chat to their server, the person looking after them, and find out what we have that would suit them, or ask for a surprise from them what they're really loving. We've got amazing staff who love the product and who love sharing their experience with the product. So I'm going to leave that to the person on the day, because that's the fun thing about going to a bar. I love going to bars and asking, what should I have?
Thank you so much to Nic Sandery, founder of Molly Rose Brewing Company. Get by there if you're local. Pick up a little hazy beer, some Skylight, or even just Lager number 3. They're all delicious, man. They're all so good. And if it's your first time in Melbourne, stop by there. Tell them the Full Metal Traveler sent you, right? That's good times. Keep it right here on Scale Travel Show. We'll be right back.
Unscaled Travel Show is brought to you by Diamondback Land Surveying. For all your land surveying needs, contact Diamondback Land Surveying at 702-823-DBLS.
Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Unscaled Travel Show. It's Jeremy Long, the Full Metal Traveler. We're talking Melbourne, Victoria, Australia. Yeah. it was a blast.
So I've heard.
So we talked food and wine and all of that, but
didn't you do some other stuff while you were there? Some stuff that this is what I'm honestly, I love to eat and drink, but I am really, really upset with you that I did not get to do some of these other activities that you participated in.
There was there's so much to do. Also, it's one of those places. It's like a little bit country, a little bit of rock and roll, right? So you get to there's a big mix. It's also the city itself has a great energy about outdoors and getting out. Lots of greenery within the city. Lots of streets there lined with trees. You know, they're at the forefront of that. What, you know, LA is talking about now, like, oh, we got to plant more trees around the city. Melbourne's got it down, man. They got whole city streets that you're like, is this in an actual 5 million population city? You know, great place. But one of the first things on the day there is I got to do moonlight kayaking on the Yarra River. Can't say that fast. With the fine folks over at Kayak Melbourne.
I love kayaking, but when you say moonlight kayaking, it concerns me a little. Was it like dark? Were you able to see anything, or are you just kayaking blindly out in the ocean?
It was light when we started, and it was extremely warm. When I first met up with the group, I was like sweating because again, I took the wrong tram and had to walk for a bit in like bright sun. So you start out at sunset, but you go up the Yarra River and into the city because it passes through the city. Obviously, the river goes through the city, and you get to see some of the fun districts. Like they've built it up. Say if you've been to Chicago and you see their river walk that they have.
How
that
the river
built
winds
up.
through the city. Yeah,
That's exactly what Melbourne has along the Yarra River that cuts through there. And so I got to go and do that. It was a ton of fun. Except for an incident that happened after.
With your shorts, right?
So
because somebody decided it was a good idea to wear white. You heard that, white shorts to go kayaking. And if you have ever gotten white material wet, you can see through it. So I think if I would have been with you, this wouldn't have happened.
Okay. So number one, I did think about the fact that I was wearing white shorts to go kayaking. I wasn't worried about it because I didn't think I was going to get soaked. And I didn't to a point. I didn't get soaked. After I left Kayak Melbourne, after a couple hours, and the great thing about it is the moonlight when they feed you. So you get dinner. You get to eat dinner in a kayak, all kind of grouped together, and it was a good group of people from around the world. After that, and actually met a really cool guy, also connected with him on Instagram. Another great thing about these kind of travels, you really do connect with people from everywhere. So I got to do that. And I went around the city. It was nighttime, but it was my first night there. So I got on the tram, was taking it all kinds of places. I stopped at a bar for a couple of pints of Guinness, was talking with the locals, was having a great time.
Just while you're wearing the white shorts.
While I'm wearing my
kayaking.
white shorts, I get back to my hotel, take everything off, go shower and everything. I look at my shorts, as soon as I get out of the shower, I look at my shorts that are laid out on the bed there, and there is a big stain right down the middle of the shorts.
Down the middle of the back of the shorts.
Well, yes, down the middle of the back of the shorts. It looked like I had used the bathroom on myself. And I walked around everywhere in the city. And there was no hiding it. It wasn't like, ooh, is that a little stain on it? No, it looked like caca on my pants. And I was like, no one said anything, but I am pretty sure there are pictures and video floating around of the guy walking around proudly, unashamed, unabashedly, with stuff on his shorts.
What do you think it was?
I don't know. I gotta figure something was in the seat and that I didn't know about and sat in or something. I promise you, as a 40-year-old man, I did not use the bathroom on myself.
So moral of the story, A,
don't wear
white shorts to go kayaking.
B, I don't know. I was traveling by myself. So I would say, if you're really a friend, tell the friend if they have something on them that makes it
back of their shorts.
look like you have used the bathroom on yourself. But oh my God, it's so embarrassing.
Transitioning into another activity that you were uncomfortable with, you did something else I've always wanted to do. I've asked you to do, and you said no.
Yeah.
And then you go to Australia and you do it without me.
Number one, I kind of got tricked into it. Okay. And this would also involve me almost having caca on my pants.
For real this time, though?
For real this time. We've been around each other for a while. I have a hate of heights. I have a intense fear of heights. I can get on planes and go places because by then I've just made up my mind that whatever, it's all over for me. But I've gotten stuck on roofs before. People had to go run and get ladders for me because I just can't get off a roof or whatever. And how did I get on the roof, right? All that. I went ballooning with Global Ballooning Australia, wonderful company. I will say right now, it was one of the top moments of travel that I've ever experienced. Never knew hot air ballooning was so cool. But once you get up to cruising altitude of about 4,000 feet, everything is still. If you've ever gone parasailing, you've gone parasailing before.
I've gone parasailing.
And once you get up to a certain height, everything is quiet.
Yeah.
It's calm. That's exactly how it was. I apologize to the young man and his girlfriend or fiance that he was with because they must have thought that I was out of my mind or some kind of weird perv because I kept getting closer and closer to them.
Like they were going to save you from falling out.
Yeah, well, as we were lifting off the ground, we had to rise very quickly. Something about going over the unsteady air that's near the ground or whatever. And I just kept creeping closer and closer to them, trying to hold on for dear life. And the guy was kind of eyeballing me like, what is with this dude? So sorry. But in the end, I had a really good time with Global Ballooning.
In the end, he went hot air ballooning without me.
Okay.
But he got some incredible photos. I think you can go to our website, fullmetaltraveler.com, and see a few of his photos from the air.
Yeah, lots of fun.
Well, so one of my biggest questions as soon as you got there, because you know how much I love animals, was did you see any kangaroos?
That was one of the first things I asked too. Where are the kangaroos? Where are the koalas? Where the hell are these giant spiders? Because just keep those away from me. I got to go to the Hillsville. Yes, Hillsville sounds like a town in Texas, East Texas.
It does.
Hillsville Sanctuary for animals. It's like the zoo type, but it's a little bit friendlier, I guess. But I got to see wonderful kangaroos.
You did send me some pictures.
Actually, before we ever got there, I saw kangaroos in the wild. Then they actually are. They were on a golf course, just chilling out.
In the wild means on a golf course.
I was with my host Cassie, and like I almost kicked the door open while the car was still moving because I was like, I want a picture with these freaking kangaroos that are just chilling on a golf course.
Yeah.
And it was wonderful, and I finally got to see like kangaroos in their natural habitat.
You did send us pictures of a kangaroo laying on its side on a golf course. Totally looked like he was thinking like, how you doing?
Yeah, he was making the moves. He was doing the eyebrows at me. But yeah, so we got to go to the Hillsville Sanctuary. Another really cool place. I know we're running out of time here, but the Queen Victoria Market in Melbourne is a big open air market. Tons of people go there every single time it's open. I think it's open like 2 days a week. Lots of wares from vendors from around the city and area. Another cool place, Cherry Hill. Cherry Hill Orchards is where you go pick your own cherries. And we have an orchard right near our place, which we love and go and pick our stuff all the time. Cherry Hill is just cherries. And you buy the pound or gram or whatever. I don't do metrics, but... it's a wonderful.
But you were telling me
experience.
It's not just a place to go pick cherries. Like they have this whole like setup where you can go hang out, and they have
families spend entire
outdoor
days
activities.
at Cherry Hill. They have games and big beanbag set up. People go and spend the entire day with their family there, and of course they have cherry ice cream. And just released, I think I can talk about it now, but they're gin. They are experimenting with gin too. Wonderful, tasty Cherry Hill gin. And they gave me a bottle.
Yum.
I appreciate that, fellas.
Yes, thank you.
And
I'm a gin drinker.
Loved my time there.
Yeah.
So hats off to Melbourne, Victoria, Australia. Thank you so much to Visit Victoria and Visit Melbourne and the teams that hosted me. Cannot say enough nice things about them. And loved it.
Next time you go, I'm going with you.
There you go.